What is going on, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius players? So it is Newsday Tuesday, but one of the subjects that we need to talk about today is so massive, I'm going to give it its own video, and that's going to be the change to the Summon Fest system from the JP version to the global version. And that change is that Summon Fest actually doesn't really exist at all in the global version. It's just not happening. If you guys don't know what Summon Fest is in the JP version of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, it is a system in which a character is pseudo time limited, as in you can only get access to that character, the 5-star character, during a Summon Fest banner. So it's basically a time limited banner. These characters are not unit choiceable in the vast majority, in nearly all of the units for the most part in JP. At least the powerful ones are part of this Summon Fest system after Warrior of Light comes out, whether it's going to be a mainstay character from a Final Fantasy title like CG Onion Knight, or a new CG version of a Final Fantasy Brave Exvius character, right, like CG Rain, CG Aldore King Rang, and then Hess King Laswell, as well as like the new units that you may have been seeing on the channel we've been looking at, which is the Esper units. Those are all Summon Fest. Almost all of the units are Summon Festival. You can't unit choice the character, you can't unit choice the prism, anything of that nature. You can't use your unit choice tickets on those characters whatsoever. That is how it works in Japan. But how it's going to work here in global, we have the information in game as well as some slides to go over due to them actually putting up a official video that I got to watch on the YouTube channel. You can check that one out too as well if you want to. But what's going to be happening here is no longer will you be able to use unit choice tickets on a character from this banner onwards. You can't unit choice a character, but you can unit choice the character's prism. So if you were someone who is hoarding tickets to not have to pull at all, period, then that's going to be a downside for you there. If you're just someone who was using unit choice tickets to get that second copy, so you can gain access to the 7-star version, then this isn't really going to change anything at all for you. So no longer will you be able to unit choice the actual copy of the unit. You can get the prism though from this banner on the 7th onward. So that could be a downside for you there if you're someone, like I said, who is getting 2 characters. You can only get the prism now, so you need to get 1 character from the banner with tickets or something. The next change is that it's not going to cost 10 summon tickets. That's not going to cost 10 unit choice summon tickets to summon a character's prism. It's only going to cost 8 ULC tickets to grab that character's prism from the shop. The third change, and the biggest change, is that in global we've had to wait 2 weeks until after a character was released in order to ULC them. Now that's not going to be a thing anymore. You're going to be able to unit choice that character's prism right away, the same day. You can go ahead and maybe get lucky with the summon ticket, maybe get them on the step up summon, however you gain access to that unit. As soon as that unit comes out, as soon as that banner is released, you can go ahead and get that unit's prism with 8 unit choice tickets right away. Bing, bang, bong, done. You have access to that character. There's no waiting 2 weeks or anything, no dead time. So that's also going to be a fantastic change. So out of these 3 initial changes, the first one obviously is weaker than it was before. In the fact that you can't unit choice the actual unit, you have to unit choice the prism. The other 2 are buffs. It costs 8 tickets instead of 10 tickets, and you can gain access to unit choicing that prism right away on the same day instead of 2 weeks after. Compare this to the way a lot of the characters, like I said, the vast majority of characters in JP, moving from where we are now forward. There's a couple outliers, right? With CG Terra, CG Warrior of Light, came out before the Summon Fest system in JP, but afterwards, guys, like every single character, you couldn't unit choice anything for the most part. There were a couple of characters who you could ULC, but they weren't nearly as strong or as powerful or as flashy as the Summon Fest characters, right? We're going to be able to ULC prisms for Noctis, Madame Adele, all of the Esper units, like a bunch of different characters, Onion Knight, all of these characters, CG White Lotus, Dark Mage Phoenix, CG King Rain and Laswell. You can get those prisms. You couldn't do that in JP. You had to pull 2 of them. You had to pull 2 of them. No backup plan whatsoever to get that second copy. We'll be able to do that here for us. Now the next thing that we're going to be talking about, because that's just the first 3. changes the summon system itself. So the rainbow rate, and I've seen a lot of misconstrued comments here about how this actually works, and this is like a negative, but it's not. So the summon rate for 5 stars is going from 3% rainbow rate to a 5% rainbow rate on everything in the game. Applies to feature summon, rare summon, step-up summons, Exvius summons, everything in the game. I think maybe they don't say like EX summons. Maybe it's not 5% for EX summons. But yeah, 3% rainbow rate is no longer a thing. It's now 5% rainbow rate, period. And then the summon rate for new featured units that are 5 stars is going from 1% on banner to 1.5% base. Okay, just like before, if there's more than one on banner unit, obviously that on banner rate is going to get split between the 2 units. Now I've seen that like, oh, it's 1.5% of 5%. That's not how that works at all. It's not how it worked before, right? It's right now. It's 3% rate when you pull on anything to get a rainbow unit, right? Period. It's not 1% of that 3% to get the on banner. It's 3% for a rainbow. 2% of that is off banner. So 3 out of 100 is going to get you a rainbow, right? 2 out of that 100 is an off banner. 1 out of the 100 is the on banner. So it's 2% off banner, 1% on banner. Next, it's going to be 4% off banner, or not 4%, 3.5% off banner, 1.5% on banner. So it's straight up better in any way. You're not getting less rainbow units. It's not a trick of the light. All right, there's no smoke and mirrors. This is how it's always been in the game. So it's going to be higher rates for rainbows, a little bit higher for on banner, a little bit higher for off banner compared to before. So you'll be able to get access to a little bit more stuff than usual. It's not like a crazy change. We've seen the 5% rainbow rates in some of the banners before. You know, you get a lot of off banners. You get a little bit less off banners. This way with the 1.5, you're just going to get more 5 stars period though than before, right? So that's pretty cool. And then older units will be removed from the summon pool as well. So it will be easier to obtain the newer units in the game. This applies to the featured rainbow, the featured summon, the rare summon, and the step-up summon as well. They didn't say exactly what units will be removed from the summon pool. We'll be able to see exactly what units are getting removed from these featured summon, rare summon, and step-up summons due to the breakdown that they have on the banner. So like not tomorrow, but 2 days from now, when the King Rain banner comes out, we can see what sort of 5 stars are actually pullable there. These older units though will still be available on the EX summon. So I'm assuming they're gonna be removing like really old units like Orlando era, Orlando Bloom, Orlando. I don't know why I call him Orlando. He's not a theme park, Hal. Huh, get it right, dude. Unsubscribed. But yeah, that's all a positive change as well. There's no negatives there. So there's only been 1 negative so far. And in the video, they said there, you know, you may have some negative changes, you may have some positive changes. It might be better for you, worse for you, depending on what kind of player you are. So far, the only negative period is you can't get the unit. You can only get the prism. But if you compare that what we should have gotten, which is you can't get anything, huge plus. All right. So the last thing here is a very interesting thing here. New features and campaigns. So I don't know how many guys out there are just absolutely drowning in summon tickets. ULC tickets, I mean. ULC summon tickets. They're going to do a new campaign where you can exchange 5-star select summon tickets for Lapis. The first time you do it, it's going to be one single select ticket for 2,000 Lapis. And then afterwards, it's going to be for 1,500 Lapis. So, you know, if you wanted to trade in, maybe you haven't used a single unit choice ticket and there's a time limited banner coming out, Christmas, blah, 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 something else you want to save up for. And there's not so many characters that you need, you know, like you have 80 ULCs, you don't need to buy a bajillion prisms, especially with the cut in cost from 10 unit choice tickets to 8 unit choice tickets to get a prism. You can go in and trade like 10 select summon tickets in, and you can go ahead and get, what would that be? What is that? 12,500 Lapis? No, it's more than that. Oh my goodness, it'd be like 15,500 Lapis. Trade in those 10 tickets. Like, just go in there and get 15,500 Lapis. Absolutely crazy. There's gonna be a 5,000 Lapis login bonus as well, and there's going to be a 10+1 commemorative summon for 3 weeks. as well, which is kind of a nice thing. But this new feature that the real deal here is being able to trade select summon tickets in for lapis if you want to. Now, select summon tickets are still some of the most powerful things in the game for you guys, but with that change where you have to get, you know, one of the units somehow with rare summon tickets or the step up banner, I know a lot of you guys out there possibly have saved up literally every single unit choice ticket absolutely possible, and you haven't used any of them at all. I've used quite a few of mine, getting random stuff like STMRs and a unit here or there. But outside of that, you know, I know there's people out there who haven't spent a single one, and now they're going to be like, oh man, there's no way I need to get, you know, 10 unit prisms to have 80 UOCs. Go ahead and trade in 10 of these if you need to for some lapis. Do save them up though. Don't trade in all of them. All right, they are still going to be really powerful. There's still some of the best things in the whole game. Unit choice tickets are the exact reason why JP got Summon Fest in the first place, and ours are still plenty powerful here, getting you that second copy of the unit that you do need for 7-star in the global version. So without that being in the game, I don't know how often I'll use it because I don't have a lot of select summon tickets, but I know, like I said, some of you guys out there who have saved up those things, you know, you'll be trading in 20 of them, be like, okay, you know what, I'll take 30,000 lapis, I'll go down to 60 UOCs, I'll take that free lapis real quick, do that step up, finish a lap, get the character, and then go spend 8 more and get the prism. Like, you could do that. You could spend 30 UOCs, and when Madame Badel comes out, use 30 of them to pull on the banner and then get the second copy and be done, and get them out of nowhere, and maybe get some other stuff as well, you know, while you're pulling. So let's go back and break this down real quick. So we are going to be able to get prisms with 5-star select summon tickets in the global version instead of the units. That's going to be a thing there. That's going to be a little bit of a downside. We'll talk about that again. 10 tickets, it's going to cost us 8 summon tickets in global to get access to these prisms. You have access to the prisms on the same day the banner and character are released instead of having to wait 2 weeks like we did before. Rainbow rates increased to 5%, on banner rate increased to 1.5%, removing some of the older units. We'll have to see exactly what units those are. And then as well, you're going to have the opportunity to trade in 5-star select summon tickets for lapis if that is something that you are interested in. Now, there's only a couple things here, right? Because we are getting the system, you know, a little soon-ish. There's only 2 characters that kind of get snagged up in this sort of thing where you can't just fully unit choice them. I know people are going to complain about it, but JP had Terra and Warrior of Light full characters. Scummy Goomy. Those were the last 2 characters pretty much that you could unit choice in JP. Period. After that, you couldn't unit choice anything. So I do hear you. I do feel you when you say, you know, that sucks. And that is the one big downside, is that you're going to have to, you know, if you were going to double select summon ticket Warrior of Light, you're going to have to pull for the first one now with tickets or something and then get his prism. Same thing with Terra. So that is the one big downside if you want to compare JP to global. Outside of that though, after that, you weren't able to unit choice anything. So if you lose 2 characters, even if those are your favorite characters, and you can still get them, like I said, trade in, you know, some UOCs if you don't have, if you're floating around 90 UOCs because you're waiting to double UOC both of them or something, you have access to a large amount of lapis, trade in a couple UOCs, pull on their banner, maybe spend 8 instead of 10, get their prism, and you're done. So even then, you still have a good shot at getting them and then picking up their 7-star for free. If you're going to UOC both of them, you were ready to spend 40 select tickets to get both of their characters 2 times. Now you need to spend 16. You need to spend 16 tickets to get each of the prisms. That leaves you with what is that? 24. You can trade in 24 select summon tickets for lapis. Use that lapis to pull those characters, and then go ahead and get the prism with the other remaining, you know, the 16 tickets that you saved up for the prism. So this is a pretty stellar move even for those characters. I would have to say, how much lapis you get to trade in? Did I math that out right? Really, you get to trade in 24. You get to trade in 24 tickets for lapis. That's what was that, just under 40k lapis. 40k lapis to try to get a Terra and Warrior of Light. And then you still have the 16 tickets left over. So that's pretty crazy. And then, like I said, those are the last 2 characters that JP realistically, CG-wise, had access to in the unit of choice ticket system. Everyone else, gone. And that's not going to be the case here, which is a huge plus. Let me know what you think about this down in the comment section below. And I'm going to have the rest of the Newsday Tuesday up here for you as well today. But this one needed its own video. It's just too big of a pill. Too much information to go over for one subject. The Newsday Tuesday video would have been like 40 minutes long otherwise. But let me know down in the comment section below. Hit this follow. No, there's not a follow button. This isn't Twitch. It's a subscription button. Make sure your notifications are on. Spiel, 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 spiel. Become part of the 10% of the YouTube squad who actually has notifications on. You don't have to, but do it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.